Today I'm going to be doing this Last Days of Summer purple and coral look that also has a sort of 70s disco vibe. So if you are interested, please stay tuned. I'm going to start with priming my face with the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. I want the dewy skin look today, but there are certain places like my T-zone that I want to have more of a satin matte finish. I like to use a skin tone eyeshadow primer. For me, that means the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Caffeine. It keeps my eyelids from being ashy, but still makes my eyeshadows pop. The first thing I'm going to take is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I really love this palette, but I kind of want to retire this warm color scheme for the fall, so I'm just going to use it to get one more summer look in. With low blow and a fluffy brush, I'm going to create a transition space because the color that I'm going to be using on my lid is a bit more vibrant and I don't want any sort of harsh lines. Now using this Maybelline City Mini palette and Graffiti Pop, I'm going to take the purple shade and apply that all over my mobile lid with a flat shader brush. One thing I really enjoy about this palette is that you get to control the intensity of the pigmentation. It's not so over pigmented that you're going to put too much on out of the gate, but if you want more color, you can definitely build up the intensity. I always like my eyeshadow to have an almond shape, so I'm just going to carve out that shape with the flat shader brush. Using the same brush and same color, I'm going to put some of the shadow on my lower lash line to completely encapsulate my eye in that beautiful amethyst hue. With this rich plum color on a stiffer, shorter shader brush, I'm going to line my lash line, creating a winged eyeliner shape, but kind of smoking it out on the tail end. I'm not going to add any more product because I don't want it to be too saturated on the tail. Next, loading up my angled crease brush with the shade Fuego, I'm going to darken up the outer third of my eye, tracing over the tail shape that I created previously. First, I'm going to pack the color in to get it really saturated and then blend it out with the same brush. I really love angled crease brushes. I feel like they really allow me to amplify the almond shape that I want without getting shadow everywhere that I don't want. Lastly, on a small detail brush, I'm taking the shade Lumbre and using it as my inner corner highlight. I don't want a very bright under eye highlighted look today, so I'm going to take a concealer that is my skin tone to mask my bags, but I am going to take a light concealer to highlight, so the top of my cheekbones down the bridge of my nose. I'm going to blend it all out using a stiff synthetic brush. Without adding more product, I'm going to clean up the shape of my shadow. I find that when you add more product to clean up your shadow, it makes your makeup look really harsh and severe. And even though I'm going for a bold color choice, I still want that sort of soft, natural skin look. My foundation is also L'Oreal Pro Glow. I start with a very little amount because for me foundation is just about evening my complexion, not necessarily covering anything. And then if I find that the coverage is not to my liking, I go in and I add a little bit more. I'm using my favorite brush, which is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Next, I'm taking the Laura Mercier Medium Deep Translucent Powder. It's too dark for me to use as an all-over setting powder, but it makes for a wonderful bronzer. The finely melt powder melts into my skin beautifully. Usually for my brows, I like to use a brow mascara, but I couldn't find mine. So I'm taking the next best thing, which is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. From my understanding, it is very comparable to the Anastasia Brow Wiz, with the very thin pencil on one side and the spoolie on the other. Finishing up with a coat of my favorite mascara. This is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. Without dipping back into the tube, I'm going to lightly graze my lower lashes to give them light definition. For my lips, I wanted a wash of hydrated ombre color, so I'm just taking a lipstick and applying it on the inner portion of my mouth and blending it out with my finger. The same for my cheeks. I just wanted a sheer wash of color to bring my face together, so I'm using the ColourPop blush in the shade Quarters. I'm going to finish up with a highlighting stick that is the metallic version of my skin tone for a more of a dew and less of a blinding highlight shade. This look is all about celebrating the last days of summer with beautiful glowy skin, warm washes of color across the face, and a bold and colorful eye. Till next time, thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.